Going on, Legendary here, playing more RuneScape Dragonwilds. Welcome to Editor Gaming and XP Grind, episode 180. So, what's been going on? Well, obviously, we're trying to get to 1 million cooking XP. And right now, what I actually want to do is sort of just take a minute and just breathe and sort of start working on a couple different things because I feel like we've really got away from that and we've got so much stuff, it's all disorganized. And I feel like that what I need to do is actually just take a minute and sort of get things a little bit more together. And I think the reason that I really want to do this, not just for the sake of basically having my base organized, is Fellhallow's on its way, right? And so, having been that I haven't really been keeping up on this, um, I'm not sure how much time I'm going to actually have in between Valhalla coming to the game and then also achieving getting all this XP. So what I want to try to do is just be ready and basically not have to deal with a ridiculous amount of just complete chaos and disorganization. So trying to take care of it now to try to get ahead of it, but obviously, this is episode 180, and I think that's crazy. All that really means is, wow, look at how far we've come and how much time we put into this. And clearly, you can see that it's just been quite the journey. And at times, it's been brutal, and but we're on our way. And I'm very excited for basically all of the wins to come from this because I think right now we've been experiencing a lot of the difficult parts, which is just grind, grind, grind. So I don't know what happened there. I was trying to collect the furnace, but yeah. So I mean, now once we're done with this, we can sort of start to see everything that we've done come to life, and um, it's just gonna be great, especially with Valhalla. Um, just I don't know, it's gonna feel so good to finally sort of just be there and sort of plan out how and like how we're going to approach what's coming next and start to lay out the foundation for the next, I guess, 3 months of RuneScape Dragonwilds for us anyway, and what that's gonna look like. And I'm quite sure that it's going to throw a lot of different surprises at me and as well as you guys. And so we've just sort of got to like start figuring out um, the next plan, which is obviously going to be farming, quests, adventuring, and stuff, things like that. But I think it's way more complicated than that. Lots more to it, but it's going to be fun. I think that's the big thing, and really looking forward to it. Now, there's just so much junk all over the place, and I'm sort of my brain scattered. But this is why it's so important to keep your base organized because it starts to get so overwhelming. You actually can't even think straight. You can't put things back where they go because you've basically just taken too many shortcuts, and now things are just a complete mess. So there's just so much stuff sort of scattered in, and it's absolutely crazy. But let's go ahead and see what else we might be able to take out. And let's see. My plan it was like slowly starting to get rune essence, and obviously I don't really have a ton of it, but I'm doing that because I know I'm gonna need more. Because obviously when Valhalla comes to the game, we're gonna get new spells, and we're gonna be able to do different things. But if you don't have any essence, you won't be able to make any of the new runes. So I'm definitely trying to every once in a while make it a priority to sort of grab some, and that's something I'm trying to sort of keep on my mind because I know I'm gonna need to do it. It's just like better to kind of do it as you go. It's something I talked about like when Valhalla comes to the game. Pick up everything on the ground, just grab it, everything you possibly can. Which obviously some people might not like to do it that way because it might actually take away from the way that you're playing the game, and that's completely understandable. Basically, if you're too busy picking up everything off the ground, it's going to affect the actual game for you. It's going to be maybe potentially a lot less fun, but I'm definitely going to approach it from a stance of, am I going to need this later? I don't know, but I'd like to have it if I am going to need it later, so that way I don't have to go back and collect it all again. And, so I've been there so many times before. So let's take a look what we've got going on here. This we can actually use for blurite ore, which I don't really think we need to. I thought I already did. See, there I did. So I'll put this there, even though realistically we probably want to be using that, but it's just not the end of the world. Let's see if we can find a spot, which I think that was a spot right there. That's fine. I'm just trying to sort of get everything really, really cleaned up. And I don't have anything after gold bar. There should be a blurite or a bar here spot. But I think we can leave it out. I don't really think we're going to have a bunch of blurite bars that we don't actually currently like use. And it's not, going to be in the circulation. It's like always going to be basically being used. Especially since it's like so hard to get blurite ore. Unless they put it in Fell Hollow. And I didn't even think of that. That's actually such an interesting thing to sort of think about. Is it possible that they're going to have a ridiculous amount of blurite ore in Fed Hollow? And so all this time I've been thinking how rare it's going to be, or that it actually in fact already is. But if they were to sort of make it more like regular in Fell Hollow, that's totally possible. You've got to think about all the fact that it's going to be 2.5 times the size of what we currently got in the game. And so if you look at that, I would say you have to fill it with something. And I just don't think that there's quite enough if, like, with just adding, I guess, what is it going to be, coal and stuff like that. And then they might even add more iron in there. But blurite ore is actually a really good thing to think about that they could potentially be adding to Fell Hollow. It's possible it's sort of like, hey, here I am, and they added it now, but really the big part where they're going to add it is in Fell Hollow. That actually makes a lot of sense, but I really don't think that if they did that, it would be a lot. I think that they have to basically make it so there has to be something a little bit more rare in the game. I don't think that you can just sort of, like, at what point are you going to say, like, something has to start to be rare? I think it's so important because what sort of starts to happen is just that not everything can just be easily obtained. It's a survival game, yes, but at the same time, you have to understand that there's a reason to have things being rare, and sort of not having a lot. It changes the way you play the game. You're forced to strategically make decisions. Look at all that barrel. Oh, I didn't quite realize how much I had. So let's go ahead. I think we're almost done emptying out all these chests, which is amazing because of how much junk I've sort of collected. And I just want to make sure I've got all of it. And let's see. There might be a little bit more in here, but it's still crazy. I mean, like, just how much stuff I actually do have. Let's see. We've got a couple different things in here. So we're basically almost done completely organizing, and so it's actually quite crazy when you think about it. We've almost filled up that entire chest as well. That's also crazy. So, like, these two don't need to be here. These can go. We got some arrows. That stuff, I don't really want to put the arrows in my, like, I guess you call it quiver, because what happens is I've got other arrows I'd really rather use. Don't want to use all my good arrows on something so ridiculous as just running around in the early access part of the game and sort of wasting my arrows. So much stuff I've acquired, but I mean, these are all things that I imagine at some point I'm going to need. And so what I really was trying to primarily focus on is setting myself up to have all this stuff in case that I needed it and it would be here. Because it just seems like far too often, like, I need all these different things and I actually don't have them. So it started to really just come to my mind that, hey, let's start to be like proactive about this and sort of start to do something. What's so interesting about copper ore is even though it's like one of the first stages, I actually love it. It's so fun. It sounds a little bit ridiculous, but like it's actually so exciting. Like copper ore. I mean, I think it's because I started on the old RuneScape, but to think that something so ridiculous as like getting a little bit of copper ore in my inventory could get me so happy, it's actually just crazy. Like something like that could actually make me so happy. And so I know it sounds ridiculous, but I know there's other people who feel exactly the way that I do about that. Um, I'm sort of just trying to get an idea of what else I've got that I need to put away because, um, I mean, I've got so much. But it's so crazy how like all the changes in a game like have forced my brain to have to rethink because obviously like the bones, I don't think you can use bones anymore just by themselves. Now you need, I think it was Harlander. So it's like I sort of feel cheated in some ways, like as to what I can make, but then everything sort of got cut by 1 to 1, so it's obviously easier. So I didn't really get cheated. I usually check just the food. Let's see what I can actually do. So I got antlers with Harlander. Harlander actually takes a lot of time to get. Animal hide scraps with Harlander. Bone with Harlander. But you see, the good thing about this is, well, it's actually sort of bad, right? Because farming's going to be coming to the game. So I could have made an insane amount of these and got a ridiculous amount of cooking XP. So I can no longer do that now because I'm already going to have a million cooking XP. So I guess I could do it, but it wouldn't make any sense. So we've got feathers, which we don't have a lot of, and we've do got small animal fang. And honestly, I don't. I mean, like there may be a future purpose that I can't see, but I don't see it because it's in the future. So let's go over here and let's see what we can do here because we might be able to actually. That's quite a bit of animal fangs. So we might actually be able to make a little bit of drinks. I didn't actually see this. Let's take a look. What the heck just happened? Okay, so let's take a cooking potion, and it's our last cooking potion. So we're actually going to have to make more of these. And then what we are going to do is take a quick little break. Right, guys, so we're back. We did have to take a little break, which is not something we normally have to do, but we got a very important phone call, and I just wanted to take care of that. I think it's important. So we are going to work on cooking a little bit, and I didn't really know if we were going to. I just sort of decided just now that we are, in fact, going to. I think it makes sense. It's episode 180, and I really want to try to get us closer to actually making this all work and come together. So, I mean, it's just crazy when you think about how many episodes there's been, and we've done so much work. And obviously, you guys have been following us this entire time. For those of you who have, and whether it's just checking back in every once in a while, I see it all that's been done, and it's absolutely crazy. And there's so much more to actually still do. So I definitely wanted to make sure that I've got my potions activated and my cooking potion, which I do. So we're going to turn all these into drinks. This is actually quite beneficial because obviously if I was just using like blueberries and red berries, like those animal fangs that I've killed are actually crazy. Yeah, the small animal fang. Now, potentially those could be used for prayer, but I don't think so. They're just a fang, but bones, yes, for prayer. And we've got so many of them, it's absolutely ridiculous. So hopefully the small animal bones are going to be used in prayer, which I imagine that it's going to be the early access of prayer. It's going to be the first stage of bones that you bury. And then obviously, guys, get excited because dragons are going to be dropping dragon bones and you're going to want to save those. And I mean, I would imagine, right? I mean, they have to drop dragon bones, even though prayer is not currently in the game. But potentially they'll have some other use that you'll get sort of persuaded by using them for. And if you do, in fact, use them, then you basically lose, the fact that you could be using them for prayer. But I think what happens is if you don't have enough experience with RuneScape, what will happen is in your brain, you'll sort of think, like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and use those right now because I'm going to get, this benefit. And oftentimes, like, it's just the beginning. So basically, it seems like the best thing to do, just like the Goblin Packs. I mean, I stated a long time ago to not open them. And then it turns out that Quorum was in there. Now, will there be seeds in there? I'm not 100% sure, but I can wait. I don't need them. That's just the thing. Like, but I'm telling you, like, if dragon bones do in fact drop off of a dragon, I think it's important that you save those as well. They may be used for something else that's really cool. Maybe building something with construction. I'm not sure which route they're going to go, but I would definitely say, and I want to talk about this a little bit more. It's actually something that I sort of stopped talking about, but save your dragon bones if they do in fact drop them, because I imagine that they will. So, those are things that it's going to be rough to kill a dragon, I imagine, as well. So you could say, oh, I could just get more. But it's like, if you could use your dragon bones to get, like, some other thing done, try to find another way to get that same thing done, unless it's construction and unless it's building something really cool like a dragon statue. You've got to remember that it is not necessarily like going to be super easy, I imagine, to kill these dragons. So you don't want to waste all of your resources for something that's going to be sort of a ridiculous thing to kill. What's going on here? So I guess I got quite a bit of cabbage in there. I don't think I actually need that much. And I think it's my rental. It's been a minute, but let's see. And my cooking potion has already expired. Let's see. Don't need 57. I think we could do like 5, and I think we'd be good. Because to be quite honest with you, this is it. I mean, like, we're right at the end of it. Like, we're going to be done with cooking. And obviously not done for the whole game. Because there's going to be weird little potions that are going to grant us more XP when we're doing certain things. But I think if you really look at it, all the hard work I've put in is going to pay off big time when it comes for Fellhollow and all the future expansions. So let's go ahead and pop a cooking potion and then start putting all this stuff in here. And then it looks like it's going to be nighttime soon. So we're really going to benefit from this stuff like right away. It's all going to hit us and really just give us the benefits. So it's actually quite nice. And it looks like steak and eggs might be a thing for us. Let's see. We got some onions. There we go. I mean, I'm actually really pleased with sort of where my brain took the conversation this time, as well as what we've accomplished in this episode. I feel like a lot's been done, and so look at that, 10,000 of those. What I'm trying to do right now is sort of get rid of some of these chests. Look at that. I didn't even actually finish putting everything away. That's how like ridiculous it is. There's always more, and so, I don't know, I'm sort of just hitting a bunch of buttons, my fingers, fat fingers, I guess they say, right? But that's a ridiculous thing to say, that's like rude. But I am talking about myself, so I'm not really talking about anybody. And I would never do that, I think that's incredibly rude. But I don't know why I said fat fingers, I guess I feel like... But I think it's still early in the morning, and sometimes when you're playing early in the morning, your fingers can sort of slip. So, anyway... Really happy with everything that's happened in the episode. I think we've made incredible progress and sort of just analyzing that obviously, yes, prayer is going to mean bones. Does that mean that goblins are going to drop bones? I mean, I would think. I mean, that has to make sense. It's a goblin. Garu? I mean, see, that's the interesting thing about coming out with skills later down the road. Like, all the different things that you've already done in the game that now you're going to have to go back and potentially do again because they didn't add this skill till later. And that's like that's one of the worst things I think about the old RuneScape is like a new skill comes out, but you potentially could be getting a lot of XP working on 2 of those things at the same time, or 3 skills depending on what it is. And then you're like, man, like I invested so much time into that. And if like I had just waited but then nobody wants to wait. Nobody wants to be like late to the party by like a ridiculous amount of time. Nobody wants to be like, well, yeah, I did that, but it's a year late and I didn't get to have the cool armor or anything like that. So it's quite interesting all the way that works. But anyway, guys, so here we are. Let's go ahead and make what else we can make, and then we can pretty much do an XP update and be where we are. So let's go ahead and put all this stuff away. Let's see. Quite a bit, that's for sure. The majority of the XP was probably from making drinks, which is fine. Eventually, I've got to get rid of all this. This is absolutely ridiculous. There's just way too much stuff. I've got to sort of get it sorted. But you can see we've made a lot of an impact. And let's go ahead and put these in here. And then do an XP update. There's nothing left in there. Here we go. Awesome. Getting so close to where we're trying to get. So, here we are. Attack, 350,000 XP. We've got range sitting at 139,000 XP. Woodcutting, 1,006,000. Construction, 2,015,000. Runecrafting, 1,002,000. Magic, 136,000. Mining, 4,295,000. Artisan, 4,153,000. And here we go. This is the big moment. Cooking, 997,407 XP. Absolutely ridiculous. We are literally, what is it, 2.6 thousand XP away from 1 million cooking. So We are going to wait till next episode to get it. It'll be on episode 181. But there you go, guys. I mean, it's actually crazy. I've got quite a large smile on my face, but we've done it with there, and it feels actually really good. It feels rewarding. We've done it, and so now it's just going to be like I just finished up cleaning up my base, and we've got to figure out the next approach we're going to do. Because obviously these three combat styles, those are just going to take time as we play the game, as we kill different monsters. But I imagine at one point all my skills will have at least 1,000,000 XP. They will all be level 99. So whatever that looks like, we're going to get there. But anyway, guys, we really appreciate you guys watching our content. Thanks for following along in our journey. Thanks for just being a part of it. We really appreciate you guys. And also, we hope you guys are enjoying your adventures in RuneScape Dragonwilds. And until next time, Legion Looter out.